Hi there, I'm David.
And I'm Con. Thanks for joining us again for another episode of Camera Peeps. David, can you explain to me what you have in front of you?
Look, we have a product from Hawk Woods,
Yep.
well known for their batteries and accessories. This is a model SPG14, and it's basically about getting battery power, V-Lock battery power to your LED lights.
Right. So I see there's two plates on that. What's that all about?
Well, look, basically you just put a V-Lock battery on each side, and then you put it on the stand. It comes with a fixed spigot.
Right, we've got a photo there where
That's
it sits on top of a stand, and you're going to show us exactly how that's done?
Well, first of all, the old brass spigot, I'm not sure that industry standard's basically not long enough. So I will replace that with this longer spigot. Just put that in there. Then that goes on there, and then...
Oh, so that's what that big knob is for. Yes, okay.
And then we put a battery on, and then obviously the light on top.
Right. So how do you power the light? What's the output?
Well, look, it has a 4-pin XLR output, so you will need a cable of some sort, which I have here. This one is a 4-pin to 4-pin XLR. Now, the Astrolight panels that I have has a 3-pin XLR input, so it'll be a trip to your local tech and get a custom cable made to whatever.
4-pin to 3-pin, yep.
Correct, yep. And then you pretty much just, that goes there, and then that sort of plugs into the back of the light.
Now, does this thing have a Hiroshi or D-tap on it?
It does not, although some of the batteries obviously have a D-tap. I don't think it's necessary in this case. This is a product designed for lights that draw a lot of power.
So hydraulic equipment.
I don't think the sound recordists will be using this.
So here's another shot showing the XLR plug on the unit.
Yep.
And the cable going into the light. And why have we got this photo up?
Look, this is a typical situation. This is a live cross for morning TV, and that situation there, I think there's about 6 V-Lock batteries driving the whole thing there, and I think it's a great product for this environment, live location. The guys that do the location weather for the morning shows, or the sports crosses, when there's a major event on, the non-broadcast rights holders, they're usually delegated to outside the stadium, and they may have a crew there from the morning news, the mid-morning news, the afternoon news, and the evening news. So they could really do with these lights and not have to worry about with the hot swapping capability.
Because as you were saying to me earlier, that sometimes you have to have the lights on ready to go even before you go to wear, and that can be a long time before you actually get switched, and sometimes that's when your batteries decide to die.
And because they in the switch in the master controls or whatever, and they have feeds coming in from LA or London or whatever, they're just facing this wall of monitors, and you're on standby, and they just want to see that it looks normal, and if it doesn't look normal, they'll think they've got a problem, and then that distracts them. So I think it's helpful if you can just have your lights at full power.
So theoretically, even if you're going live to where you're noticing the batteries needed changing, you can easily do that without anyone noticing.
Well, when they're giving you the countdown, if they say we're coming to you guys in 30 seconds, that's enough time to do a hot swap, technically, So,
and no one's any the wiser that you had to do a battery swap. So here's another photo of a live cross.
And look, I put that one in because with the microwave link operators, they can't always get their vans to the camera position, and they have a breakout kit, just a small microwave link, and they put on a stand like this with a V-Lock battery, and I thought, well, look, these guys could possibly utilise this system as well, because then the microwave link isn't going to go flat. My lights aren't going to go flat, so it just helps the whole process along.
Now, what else have you got there on the table?
Well,
what's that?
I think another application for these is when you buy an LED panel, this is the Aladdin. Look, it actually comes standard with a V-Lock plate. Sometimes it's an optional extra.
Yeah, like my Cineroid lights, I had to buy the power supply separate.
Yeah, and I just figure, well, look, you can either buy the manufacturer's V-Lock plate, and screw it on, or perhaps you buy one of these.
Well, with mine, I had to buy a super clamp and a brass spigot to screw in the power supply to attach to a lighting stand, whereas this makes it a nice, neat solution.
Yeah. And I think in the feature film world or the drama world, I think this could be useful, as a monitor holder or video split transmitter or something like that. I can see this. Use your imagination.
Do you think that could take the weight of, say, my 17-inch Panasonic monitor?
I'm not sure. We'd have to check the specs, but Hawkwood's website is very comprehensive, and my advice would be just check.
Yeah. Well, worst case scenario, I can, like I said with the Cineroid power supply, just use a super clamp. It's got a built-in spigot. Attach that to the stand and run the XLR cable to my monitor, and have the hot swap ability, so I don't have to turn off the monitor, especially if it's midway through a take and you need to change batteries. And just another feature, it's subtle, but it's something that Hawkwoods take a lot of care with in their design. The pins, the contact points, they're fairly highly rated, 12 amps I believe, so that's just nice to know. That's sort of going to... So you can, the pins can take a higher draw from equipment, and so can the batteries, I imagine. So look, I think it's a good product, and it's one of those products that I think you buy it and you'll have it for a long time in your kit. If you're not using it for lights, you'll use it for something else. Now, I'm just noticing that with all the weight of the batteries up the top, plus a light or a monitor, you're very top heavy, aren't you?
It is, and if it was me, I would probably have the 10 or 12 kilogram shop bag at the base of the stand, because
all professionals, especially if they're outdoors, would always put bags on stands, right?
Yeah, and look, some of the news and current affair guys don't have them, or they can't carry them, but just improvise, just put a Pelican case there or something.
Anything heavy, just to put the weight down
because
the bottom.
If this does go over, it's going to be a very expensive fall.
So inevitably, when you're working outdoors, you always have gusts of wind and stuff like that, which can knock equipment over.
So no, I think it's a good product.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I love the dual battery hot swap ability. I mean, I think most equipment should give you the option of having that feature. All right, so thanks everyone for joining us. I hope you enjoyed this presentation of Camera Peeps, and we'll catch you on the next episode.